Hey everybody, Rachel here from Rachthestamper.com, and today I'm going to show you how to make this pretty simple little bird's eye view card. You could also easily change out the sentiment. Now bird's eye view does not have any sentiments, so I used happy labels. I had a couple people in Stamp Club use yay. Someone else used hello. I thought thank you was cute because I always need thank you cards, but we can change the sentiment for this one. So this is fairly simple. I will say that one of the, sorry, their pictures are falling everywhere. One of the stamps or punches I use is 2 1/4. I'm not sure if this is current or not, but there is also a 2 3/8 circle punch in the one-line exclusive, so you could always get that if you wanted to. So this uses an Azure Afternoon card base. And then I do have a panel for the inside. Here's what I did to the inside. Cute little bird. So you could do that or leave it, your choice. And then the rest of it, you're just going to need a scrap for your books and your bird. And then I have a navy circle and a white circle. So again, I use the 2 1/4 inch punch. I know that there are a significant amount of punches that are no longer with us, but they did bring back some. So at least we have that. So to begin, we're going to start by stamping the bird and the books because they're going to need some time to dry. I am going to use VersaFine pigment ink. You could use Memento if you wanted to. We're going to color this with blends, so you definitely are going to need something that is blend friendly. All right, so I think I forgot one blend now that I look at it. We're going to stamp the bird, and I am stamping, even though this is photopolymer, I have a stack of scrap paper back there, so you want to stamp on something when you're using photopolymer, just because you need a little cushion since it doesn't have any. Add the glasses, cute, and then let me just wipe this off. I'm going to just change for this for my book. Need to wet that. And the book stacks. Now I actually toyed around with doing the books in Misty Moonlight. I did 2 different versions, but I liked the books with the black borders better. So that's what I went with. So these need to set and dry. In the meantime, I'll clean these couple things off because we are going to use this book stack with our Misty Moonlight. Okay, scoot these over, and I'll keep this out for our sentiment. So when you get, just as a little tidbit, when you get these photopolymer stamps, they come with 2 because they are stacked on one, and then there's a thin one, and then when you pull them off, they have the little, I guess it's like an index of images one here you can stick them to. I save this piece and use it for shaker cards. So just as an FYI, this one is very thin, but the other one that's thick, you could use that for a shaker card. So just a little more for your money there. So I'm going to take our base, and this is 4 1/4 by 11. It's already scored at 5 1/2, and I'm going to fold it, and I'm going to just reinforce the fold before stamping. And the reason I want to do that is I want to have some of these books cut off, as you can see, so I kind of just going to pick a spot and start. So we'll just go here, and I did do full ink the entire time. If you want to try to go for a pattern, you can. Really just depends on what I guess you're in the mood for. All right, so we have our base. This one didn't ink quite as well, but that's okay. No biggie, not the end of the world. And then the other thing we need to do is to pick our sentiment. So I did say we'll use something different. So instead of thank you, let's use yay. This also has coordinating a punch that has 2 different sets of things in it. So just as an FYI, let me just grab my circle. So you have your white circle and your navy circle. So you're just going to kind of eyeball this. So if you're imagining where your bird may be, just kind of off center your sentiment to the side. There you go, because you can always stack your bird up on a different, slightly different direction. So, all right, that's it. So that's all we're going to do. So I'm going to put this away. I did also think that the Misty Moonlight gave a really nice contrast, so that's why I used that specific color. All right, so we do also have to do just a little bit of fussy cutting, but we're going to do that after we do our coloring first. So I've been watching someone actually I found through Wendy Cranford, and I cannot remember what her name is because I haven't watched her enough, but she is really great at explaining how to color images with Copics. She obviously uses Copics, but that's not obvious. You don't know that. She uses Copics, but when you're doing it with Stampin' Blends, you have a light and a dark, so you kind of want to bring in a third color. So I just went with Light Pool Party. But she shows you how to do stuff with shading. So on this particular one, I'm going to show you kind of somewhat what I learned. So she says anytime two things touch, if something were to overlay something, that's where you want to add your dark. So I'm going to begin with the dark Azure Afternoon, and I'm going to just start down here. So I have the side, and I'm going to just hit the area where the books come together. And then this would be sitting on top of something. And then the same thing with the stacked, kind of hitting the center of those. And I'm going to add just a little bit of shading up here on the one end. One end and just a little bit over here. Okay, so that's our dark. Then we're going to bring in some of the light Azure Afternoon. So I'm going to just start on my darker end. And I'm just bringing it in a little bit. Same thing on this side. Remember, we are cutting this out, so if you go over, it's not going to be a big deal. Just blending in with the light Azure Afternoon. Same thing over here. A little bit here. And I'm purposefully avoiding this middle section. Then we're going to come in with our light Pool Party. And we're just going to fill in the center. And then we're going to blend over to the middle. I may need to actually switch to my bullet tip because that one's, we use that for class. It's a little bit dry. And they're not going to look exactly the same. Just know that. That's okay. It's just each coloring, I just want to call it like a coloring experience, is a little bit different. I'm going to bring in a little bit more dark. And I'm waiting for my replacement marker because my tube is broken. So I can't really get to my bullet end on this one, but I would like to have used my bullet end. And then I'm going to come back in just with my light Pool Party and just kind of reblend. So you really just want to create like a highlighted area. Okay, that's pretty much what you're going for. Now, since I still have this out, I'm going to go ahead and fill in my bird's face. Actually, I think I'm going to have to switch to a different one, a different new old marker, because that one's a little bit dry. There you go, this is a little better. So I'm going to do the bird's face, kind of inside the glasses. There we go. Kind of trying to avoid the triangle of his nose because I did want to do that with pumpkin pie. You could use light or dark, it's really your preference. Light pumpkin pie for the beak. And then I'm going to go back in with just a little bit. This is the light Azure Afternoon. And again, I'm going to switch to the other end for this because this is pretty detailed. You wanted just the places. So you have the places where his chest would intersect with his wings, maybe just a little bit on the top of the head. And then I'm going to come back in again with the light Pool Party and just kind of blend these out. Now this is ironic that I decided to do this bird card because I literally just came in from rescuing a bird. I guess it was a fledgling that fell into the pool, which is just, had never happened before. I mean, I've had birds in the pool, but usually by the time I find them, they are gone to bird heaven. And I'm going to start again. This is wild wheat, so we're going to use wild wheat, dark and light. I'm going to just come up here by the top, Come around here. So I just pulled this little bird out. I mean, he was doing the brushstroke with his wings. It kind of reminded me of if you've ever seen an eagle, when apparently they do know how to swim. And coming in with a light now. If you've ever seen an eagle swim, well, he was trying, but this poor little thing could barely keep his beak above the water. So he was definitely exhausted. Just a little bit more dark. So he's all dried off. I dried him off with one of my, the closest thing I had Christian run in. He has a friend over, and I was like, oh, give me the dog's Norwex cloth, because I figured that would at least be easier to get to and to tell him specifically where to find. So he's currently sitting outside underneath of one of our beach grasses. His mother was like coming nearby. You could tell she was trying to bring food. So sweet. So he's in a shoebox, wrapped in a towel, and we are supposed to get a really bad rainstorm, so I kind of put him underneath of the beach grass to shade him. So I just went in on all of the dark marks with my dark copper clay, and then I'm going to come in and I'm going to bring in a little bit of light on the sides, but I'm also going to avoid the middle because I want to bring a little bit of the wild wheat. And the crazy thing about this, it's crazy in, I don't really even know what way to say it is. As it dries up, the alcohol evaporates and it dries. I wanted to use light. It will lighten up in color, and you'll actually be able to see where you colored in with the different layers a little bit more. So it's pretty cool. A little bit of dark, or I'm sorry, a little bit more of light. And I'm going to go back over one more time with the light, just kind of over the belly. All right, so that looks pretty cute. That's pretty similar. I mean, I think this probably could have used a little bit more drying time because of going over the lines. I definitely did not let this dry as long as I would have liked to have. And I'm going to try something only because I've not done this before, but I want to see if it works. Because it is photopolymer, you should be able to see pretty clearly. I'm going to actually try to re-stamp this in black and see if I can line it up. We'll see. Maybe a fail. If not, this is just going to be an is what it is kind of card. So, can't see if I can get in here. A little bit hard with the camera, but I'm going to try. Just to kind of reaffirm that dark black lines of the book. If I had done this with the Stamparatus, I could have redone it because it would have been great positioning. That's actually not so bad. So, I have a little bit of double shadow lines, but it kind of works for the card. So basically, I just went over again because they were a little bit smudged. So I think it turned out pretty cute. All right, so we have that. And while I'm just going to let this dry for a moment, I'll go ahead and add the inside to the card so you guys can see that. Again, this isn't really a terrifically involved card. I probably just took it a step farther doing it the way I did. So I'm going to stamp the branch with copper clay. And I'm going to open this so you can see. We'll just do this one to the other side today. Okay, copper clay. And we'll do garden green for our leaves. Just do a couple different leaves, and then I'll show you how I finished everything off with various Wink of Stella's other things. Here we go. All right, I'm gonna leave this out for a moment, and I'm going to grab, let me just make sure these are all capped off since we're finished. Oh goodness, forgot the little bird. Now, definitely I'm going to let the bird dry, so I'm going to do the rest of these. In the meantime, we'll assemble the front, and then we can finish this one up. All right. Okay, so I'm just grabbing an old Wink of Stella, and I already have some ink you see here pooled, probably from when we did this the other week, or the other day. So I'm just going to dip into this, and I tend to just try to fill in one side. And I'm more so just using this for the fact that it has a very detailed paintbrush. Not really for the sparkly aspect of it. I'll show you one other thing I did. I just kind of brought in just a little stem, kind of finish it off a little bit. And then I'll just finish the other half. And then to finish that off, what I did is I went and grabbed my soft seafoam Stampin' Right marker and just gently I kind of filled in the other side. Oh, this I think needs a, really need to have a whole list of things that I'm putting on the replacement list. I really probably should pull them out. I'm going to use my Stampin' Blend for this. Kind of just working around. That's good. Go back in with the dark. Just make a couple little wood-esque notch marks here. That looks pretty good. All right, so I do want to give the bird just a teeny bit more to finish drying. In the meantime, we'll go ahead and fussy cut this and then just assemble. So the books are very simple. So you're going to just cut straight. You could probably also use this if you wanted to. This would be a really cute graduation card. I would think it would be. Of course, my high school mascot was an owl, so we could somehow make this into the Dundalk Owls. There we go. And I'm going to, while I have it out, I'm going to just take the brush end and I'm just going to get rid of these white spots here on the end. You could do this with this. You could do it with your Stampin' Right marker. There's that. And the bird. Now the bird, I did not really cut the feet super close. I kind of just went straight across. And if you rotate your piece that you're cutting versus moving your scissors, it's much easier. Just like so. Oh, excuse me. Apparently my stomach thinks it's time to eat. All right. Okay, so now one other thing I did, I'm just going to use this as my little base, is I took my brush tip of my pool party and it just went over just so it wouldn't stick out quite so much. I also did fill in the glasses now that I think about it. And kind of just went around the edge just to take that harsh white off so you won't see it when we put it up against our die cut piece. Our punches. Sheesh. All right, so that is pretty much it. I do still have to color my little inside bird there. I am going to put dimensionals on both of these. So kind of thought it made it more fun that way. Some for the books. Okay, and then we're going to just kind of eyeball where we're going to put this prior to. Okay, so let me grab some liquid glue. That looks good. Okay, put some liquid glue on this whole situation here. Put our books down. So hopefully the bird will be fine. He was definitely loving being snuggled in there, I can tell you that, which I thought was kind of funny. I guess it was taking him back to being in the nest with mom, which I don't even know where the nest was. It's got to be somewhere right around where the pool was, though, because that little bird was definitely insistent on finding him. Move this over just a smidge. There we go. That's cute. All right, so the only other thing we're going to finish doing is just coloring in our little bird. And I'm going to try to just do this a little bit quicker because we don't have quite so much to color. I'll just give him a little bit of light on his wing. Forgot I need my little orange for his beak. Ooh, wrong end. Well, that's all right. We'll blend it off. No biggie. I'm going to do a little bit of light around the face. A little bit up here. This is Light Azure Afternoon. I'm going to fill in with Pool Party. And looks good. And then we're going to do light for his wing. Oh, no, I don't want light first. We're going to do dark for his wing. Now, a little bit of light. And then I'll go over with the light wild wheat for the center of everything. It was kind of funny when I was outside, though, even with Jack, you know, being a dog, and I guess you would argue to say a bird dog, he was just sniffing like, oh, there's a bird. Great, we have another pet. I mean, normally we do have a lot of, we have a lot of turtles, all kinds of other crazy things swimming in the pool. Not necessarily birds, which is probably not a bad thing because, you know, I don't think, unless aside from a bird bath, birds don't really typically hang out. I think he was just too young and it's pretty windy, so I'm sure he probably just got pushed in there by accident. But I'm going to go check on him when I finish this up just to see how he's doing. So there you go. Move all this stuff out of the way. And there you can see we have our original. And, oh, it's pouring. We have our original. Oh, the only other thing I wanted to do, I wanted to find one wink of Stella brush that did have something in it because I wanted to add a little sparkle to his glasses. Because I did that on the other one as well. I thought that was really quite adorable. So here you can see he's got a little twinkle on his glasses. I think this is a really cute card. Definitely great for congratulations. Thank you. Thinking of you, any kind of thing. Honestly, I think it's absolutely adorable. So I hope you all enjoyed this very quick but fun card. I will keep you updated on the bird if I find out that he is hopefully doing okay and has left his little bungalow. I don't know, sometimes when you make things a little bit more cozy, you might have the chance that they may not end up leaving after all, right? Isn't that how some people's kids never move out, right? They're just entirely too cozy in the basement, so they just never move on. I want to thank you guys so very much for joining me today. I hope you found this video useful and that you learned something new. If you'd like to get any of the supplies to make this card, you can go to my online store, 24/7, rachthestamper.stampinup.net. If you'd like more ideas, you can also check out my blog. I do have lots of videos here on YouTube. I'm actually approaching the 700 mark of videos, which I cannot even believe, which is just mind-boggling. So thank you so very much for watching. If you haven't already, make sure that you subscribe down here, turn on the notifications so when I make a new card, you will be able to find it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day.